Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Jackery and I'm a first year medical student studying at UCL. And in this video, I'm just going to go through how I use Notion to organize my life and just make sure I'm staying on top of all the tasks that I need to get done. Now, I will leave a link in the description to the video I used to put this kind of system together, but I'll also leave a link to the template of this complete kind of system that I've made so that you can save yourself the time of having to go through the hassle of making it from scratch. Also, a special shout out to Medic, because it's kind of thanks to his Notion video that I started to use Notion in this way. So if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't have this system in place to kind of help me get things done. Now, here on the screen right now, you can see the whole system I use. GTD just stands for get things done. And you can clearly see that there are quite a few elements to this to-do list, so I'll go through all of them in this video, and hopefully if it seems like something that you feel will be helpful for you, then check out the link and download this and give it a go. Now, as you can see, it's relatively colorful. I've added quite a few emojis, icons all throughout, because I feel like the nicer it looks and the more appealing it is to the eyes, the more likely I will be to actually use it, and the more encouraged I will be to make the most of it. Now, really, there are three main elements to this system. So there's the main dashboard, which is where most of your work will be done. There's also a tasks table and a project table. Now, the two important ones will be obviously the main dashboard, but also the project table, which I'll go into a bit more detail about later on. So the main way that this system works is you have your main inbox right here, and this is where all your tasks will go in. And after you've kind of added all the data about your task, all the relevant information, then Notion will begin to filter it and put it into the relevant kind of sub tables you can see here. Now, to give you an example of this, I'm going to quickly just write out a few tasks that I have to get done today, just so that I can show you how the system works. Now, as you can see on the screen, I've just put 4 tasks down, 4 things that I want to get done eventually. And now I can actually start to work through adding more data about each task so that it's more informative. Now, the main way this system works is that ideally throughout your day, when you know you have something you have to get done, you put it down in your inbox. And then later on, when you're free, you can add all the relevant information so that Notion can start filtering it out. So the obvious one is obviously the due date. Whenever you have a task, typically there's a deadline that you have to get it done by. And so this is kind of the first column. So obviously right now I'm filming this on the 24th and I want to get this filming done by today. So I'll put the due date as the 24th. Now, creating the thumbnail for this video, well, I'm likely going to upload this video next Friday. So I'm going to give myself until the 29th to get the thumbnail sorted out. Complete all my Anki cars, well, this is something I want to get done today as well. And also watching the F1 race, which is a bit later on tonight. So again, I want to get this done today. So that's the first part. Now, the second column here is whether or not you've done it. Well, obviously, I'm not going to tick any of this yet because I haven't finished any of it. And then the third column is context. Now, context is just kind of a way to add a bit more information about the task, just so at quick glance I'll know what to expect when I'm about to start the task. So for example, filming the Notion video, I'd say it's relatively high energy. I'm using my phone to record, so I'll put down phone, and it is quite time consuming, so I'll put that down. And what this means is when I see this task throughout my Notion dashboard, I'll know exactly what to kind of expect from it. Now, creating a thumbnail, this is a bit lower energy and I use my laptop to do it, and it's not too time consuming, so I'll just put that. Anki cards is quite low energy. I do it on my laptop and it's very time consuming sometimes, so I'll put that down. And you don't have to put context down for everything. So like watching the F1 race tonight, I'm not really going to put anything down. And this, again, just gives you some idea of what the task will involve. Now, here is quite simplistic. I know when I was using this dashboard for my A-levels, I had all my subjects under the context as well as all my teachers' names. So for example, if I was ever given a homework task under the context, I could write down what subject it was, and I could also select which teacher set the homework. So you can do this for anything. So for example, I could add biology and every time you add a different tag, then it will permanently be available, so that if you want to add it to another task, you can just click it and it'll be right there. Obviously I'm not doing biology, so I'm not going to include that, but this is just like an example of how you can customize it a bit more to your workflow. The next thing is whether or not it's very urgent, so I have this down as ASAP. This doesn't really do much, but it's just a good way to indicate if there's a certain task that you really want to get done urgently. For example, if you have an assignment that's due in like a few weeks and you really want to make sure you're done before the due date, you can click this. Now the today button is just something you can use when you have tasks that are maybe due a few days later, but you want to get it done today. So what I mean by this is, for example, creating a thumbnail. This is due for October 29th, but let's say for example's sake I want to get that done tonight as well. Then what I can do is I can click the today box, and what this will mean is when Notion is filtering out all my tasks, it will make sure to put the task of creating a thumbnail for today, so that it will come up under my today's tasks. Duration, this is just how long the task will take. Now I don't really use this column as much unless it's for lectures. So if there's a lecture I need to get through and it's, for example, 1 hour, then I might put down in the duration, for example, 1 hour or maybe 2 hours, just to give myself enough time. Now the last column is arguably the most important, and this is how you assign the task to different projects, if you will. So all this is kind of a way for me to categorize every task. So here you can see that I've got my own little projects, if you will. So appointments, tutoring sessions, responding to emails, medical school work, YouTube, and other. Now when you download this template that I've made, these ones will already be put in for you, but I understand that not everyone will order their projects in the same way. So for that, what you can do is, if you come to the little 3 pages that I showed you at the start, if you go to project table, then this is where you can start to customize how you're going to subdivide all your tasks. So I know a lot of people who are watching this might not be a university student, you might not be in medical school. So for example, this one might not be that relevant. So you might want to delete that by clicking these little dots here and then just deleting. And if you want to add your own one, so for example, if you're an A-level student and you've got homework assignments, then you might decide to make a project called homework. So whenever you get homework, you can subdivide that task into homework. And this is where it's really up to you to decide how you can tailor this to your workflow, what you think is going to be very important, and what you want to include. So this is where you can be as creative as you want. So if I come back to the dashboard, let's actually start to put all these tasks into their separate project. So with filming the Notion video that I'm doing right now, this falls under YouTube, of course, and you'll see that as you start to assign a project to each task, it will get removed from your inbox. And this is really useful because it means that your inbox won't get cluttered with all your stuff. And you can almost see this last column as writing off the task for Notion to organize, so that it's not going to come up in your inbox, but you still see it throughout the dashboard. So obviously creating a thumbnail, this is also for YouTube. Completing all my Anki cards, let's put that under medical school because it's related to university. And the last one, watching an F1 race, well, I'll just put that under other. And you should be able to see that now all the tasks that I had on inbox have been organized to fit into each of the individual places where they belong. So for example, here I've got all of today's tasks, and sure enough you can see that we've got everything that I've included for today. And again, you'll notice that creating a thumbnail, even though the due date is for the 29th, because I've ticked it for today, it comes up under today's tasks. The next column I have is for university work. Now, ignore the fact that there are quite a few overdue tasks I haven't done. But sure enough, if you look right at the top, completing all my Anki cards for the day has been automatically put under university work because I put it down as medical school. The next one I have is incomplete tasks. So for me, I've set this to show all tasks that are incomplete, whether they're overdue or whether the due date is a bit later on. and I have it ordered to put the overdue task at the top. So you can see a lot of these tasks are actually overdue, but the ones that I've added that I haven't completed yet are over here. And sure enough, if I was to click done for any of them, then it would automatically disappear from the table. The next one I have down is due soon. So this one isn't any overdue task. Instead, it's tasks that are either due today or within the next 7 days. So you can see here that all these tasks are due within the next week, and I find that that's just useful for me to quickly glance at from time to time, just to give me an idea of what to expect in the coming days. And the last thing that I have is tomorrow's task. Now this is really useful for me when I've done all my tasks for the day and I just want to quickly see what I should expect for tomorrow. It's just a good way to prepare me for the day. Now obviously right now there's nothing here, but let's say for example creating a thumbnail, let's say I put down the date as tomorrow, so the 25th. You'll see, sure enough, it will pop up here as tomorrow's tasks or tomorrow's tasks that are due. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, I'm not going to go through how you can make these customized subsections. Instead, I'll leave a link to that video I talked about at the start, going through how you make this dashboard. But instead, I'll put a timestamp to the specific section that shows you how you can start to customize these separate tables, because obviously I appreciate the fact that a lot of people watching this, like I said, might not even be at university, so things like this table won't really be that useful, and obviously you can just simply delete all the things that aren't relevant and kind of customize it to your own liking and your own workflow. And I'd say that's about everything. So I hope that made sense. I hope you got a better understanding of how I use Notion. If you've made it this far, then I really appreciate it. And obviously like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. If you enjoyed it, then let me know in the comments below. Or even if you have any questions, just ask away. Thank you so much if you made it this far. That's been all from me, and goodbye.